Hi, I'm Jack Canfield, author of The Success Principles and co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. And I'm here today at the Author Success Retreat that I did with Steve Harrison. And I want to introduce you to one of our attendees, Dr. Sarah Michaud. Now, Sarah is a psychologist with more than 30 years of clinical practice, specializing in codependency and addiction. And in her practice, she helps people in unhappy relationships or relationships that don't work. And she's also the author of the book Co-Crazy, One Psychologist's Recovery from Codependency and Addiction, which is both her memoir and a roadmap to freedom for others. Now, she's also the co-host of the YouTube channel, Leaving Crazy Town. I love that title. Sarah, what do you believe is the biggest thing people in unhappy or broken relationships can do to make positive change?
Thank you. Thank you, Jack, for having me. It's been great to be here. Well, one of the most common reasons people come to therapy is because they're having relationship problems. The issue is, though, typically they come in and they want the other person to change. And that's usually the source of the issue because, as we know, we typically can't change anybody else. And really, it's about shifting the focus from trying to change or fix or save your partner or someone else in your life and move the focus to yourself and what you need and want. And that's really the mantra of healing from codependency is what do I need and want rather than focusing on what everybody else wants, because that leads to misery and unhappiness.
You talk about in your book that, and I think it's important for people to get that most people think about codependency is when you're with someone who's a drug addict or an alcoholic, maybe a gambling addict, a sex addict, whatever. But you talk about the fact that 90% of people in our society show some kind of codependent behavior. Can you talk about that and what some of those codependent behaviors would be?
Yes. I mean, one group would be moms or new moms. You know, I've spoken to moms groups, and so many mothers suffer because they want to control their kids, and their self-esteem is attached to what their kids are doing. Rather than focusing on their own parenting, it's all about how my kids are behaving or what other people think of them. And their self-esteem is attached to what they're doing rather than themselves. So we can be codependent with anybody, our children, our partners, our bosses, our friendships, anybody. You know, I've tried to take it out of the old paradigm of the alcoholic husband and the codependent wife and really move it to all relationships. We all have a little bit of codependency. It's on a spectrum.
Yeah, and I think, you talk about how it's making other people's needs more important than your own, not having boundaries, not being able to say no for fear of rejection, or they're not going to like you if you do.
Yes.
And going back to doing what is right for you.
Yes, bottom line. I mean, I say that after 30 years of practice, the two most common issues that happened all the time with every person were they couldn't set boundaries and they couldn't speak up for themselves. And these are powerful clients. I mean, you would think they would say, oh, no, I speak up in my relationships, but they wouldn't speak the truth. So they might speak up, but they wouldn't share what their real thoughts and feelings were. And that's really what healing from codependency is, not running from fear of what someone else is going to think or do or say, but really what's best for you.
Right.
Yes.
So if you're watching this, there's a 90% chance that you read this book. So I encourage you to get a copy of it, Co-Crazy, and you'll learn a lot that you can apply to your life. And you may find you want to recommend the book to some of your friends as well, because you'll be noticing those. It's often easier to notice those behaviors in others than yourself. So anyway, I really encourage you to get a copy of the book. Thanks for joining me, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Jack. It's been great to be here.
And for those of you watching, here's where you can go to get in touch with Sarah and get more information about her book, her work, and her.